All right. Good morning, and good morning to everyone. My name is Yoshina Cobra Bradford, member of the South Metro Democratic Women Council. And today, as always, we want to bring to you interviews from the candidates so you can hear their perspective and why it's important to not only get out and vote, but also vote for them. And today we're interviewing Tamika Hrobowski-Houston. I had to slow down on that name, but it's a pleasure to meet you and just so happy that you're here and you're running for judge, which is the Superior Court of the Atlanta Judicial Circuit.
Exactly.
All right, so just say hello to everyone really quick before we get into the interview.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much to the South Metro Democratic Women's Council for having me. I'm honored to be here, and anything that you have to ask, I'm ready to answer.
All right, let's get right into it. So with the long title, tell us as citizens, common folks, as they say, what is the job entail and what are the responsibilities?
So as a Superior Court judge in Fulton County, and Superior Court judge anywhere in Georgia, we are in Fulton County, the busiest trial court in the state. People, they don't really think about voting down the ballot for the judges and all of that. But the reality is Superior Court is probably where, if you have to end up in court, that's probably where you'll go. That's where you go for jury duty most times. But Superior Court handles your domestic relations actions. So any divorces, legitimations, custody actions, visitation, child support, you're going to go to Superior Court. If you have a property dispute with your neighbor, you're going to go to Superior Court. Any election issues, you're going to go to Superior Court. You saw the mask issue between the governor and the mayor. That's in Superior Court.
Okay.
And so the bond hearing with Rashard Brooks, that was in Superior Court. So that, some of the happier things, adoptions, that's in Superior Court. If you have a wrongful death action, that's going to go to Superior Court. Serious personal, high injury, high dollar, serious physical injury cases go to Superior Court. So we handle have jurisdiction over a lot of different cases that touch people's lives at various points. So that would be my job, handling those particular cases. And currently I am sitting as a Superior Court judge by designation in Fulton County Superior Court, handling the domestic relations cases. So I'm in the family division. We have such a large caseload of family cases, those domestic relations cases I was talking about, that there are judges assigned just to those cases. And I work for one of the elected judges as a judge handling those cases right now.
Okay. And just talking about with everything that you all have to do, what does your budget look like and who sets the budget?
Now, the budget, that's going to be through court administration. And then the budget issues, I don't have a lot of knowledge about from my perspective.
Okay.
I just know that my judge has a budget for his chambers. And then I know there's an overall Superior Court budget that comes from through the county commissioners.
So county commissioners help set the budget.
Yes.
All right. And just talk to us a little bit about, I know you mentioned jury duty. That's where we would go as well. What is the importance of jury duty, if you could just let some of the citizens know?
Okay, and that's one that I forgot. Not serious felony, but felony crimes come to Superior Court. So the importance of jury duty is when people talk about how things are resolved, especially in terms of the criminal cases.
Okay.
The judge, if it's a jury trial, the jury has the control over the guilt or innocence. So it's important to get in there because you're told that you should have a jury of your peers. That's why it's important. If you want to just think about the person that's sitting as the defendant and they want to see somebody that looks like them, then people that look like them have to go ahead and show up and participate when it's time to, when you're called in for jury duty. That's how you get, that's how you get a jury of your peers.
Exactly. That's how you get your peers.
Right. It's extremely important. It's extremely important.
And just talking about some of the issues that we're facing now, do you see any issues because you have the experience? What issues do you see that we have in the judicial system that we can actually do better, or what solutions do we have?
So there are three issues that kind of, if I'm elected, that I would like to address.
Okay.
Accessibility, efficiency, and then the underutilization of these specialty courts that we have, because we have overall a lot of resources right in the courthouse and definitely in the community that could be utilized to a greater extent to give people a better perception of the overall justice system. Because as far as the accessibility, that goes to people believing, I can't afford to go and file a case, that costs too much. And if somebody files against me, I can't afford an attorney. I don't even know what to do. So to address that, though, we have fee waivers. You may not have to pay a filing fee, depending on your income. You can file a pauper's affidavit. Then it's up to a judge to review it, look at your income, expenses, your resources, and see whether or not you even have to pay the filing fee. And then if someone files against you and you need to defend against it, we have a Justice Resource Center right in the courthouse where you can go and get forms. You can get a free consultation, 1 hour consultation with an attorney up there. And so these things, though, most people don't know about them. And of course, as a criminal defendant, you get an opportunity to have a public defender, but you also can use legal aid, Atlanta Legal Aid in civil cases. You can use the Volunteer Lawyers Foundation. The firms around town, most of them have a dedicated pro bono division where they actually want to use that to get their attorneys training in court. So you have these resources. It's just that nobody's shouting them from the mountaintop so that people can go out and use them. You know what I mean? So,
I was just about to say, I've never heard of any of it.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And I think that is going to be important. People come into the courthouse and they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect from the judges. They don't know what's expected from them. So it seems like it's just off limits and inaccessible. And I like to address that.
Okay.
And then with the efficiency, we just need to be more up to date with our computer systems. And then both in because we are the busiest trial court in Fulton County, we need to have the most up-to-date case management systems to handle that volume. So I'd be begging, please update the software. I just got a new laptop because we're working from home, but those types of things need to be automatic because my day rarely ends when I leave the courthouse.
Wow.
And then as far as for people, we have case management orders that each chambers gives out. And I just think there needs to be, in some places, more uniformity so people have a better idea of what to expect. And then when you get into your individual courtrooms, of course, you can lay out for people what's expected of them and what they can expect from you. But that needs to be set out plainly and clearly in your case management orders that you issue. And then just finally, we have specialty courts.
Okay.
We have a veterans court, we have parental accountability court, we have drug court, we have mental health court, and I don't know that they are, in my opinion, they are underutilized.
Okay.
Looking at the numbers, they're underutilized. And that needs to change because I think that a lot of the people that we have kind of sitting around in jail and things like that, there may a lot of people, and then people that you see kind of a revolving door, it's like you're back. And it's another, theft or whatever. And you haven't gotten to the root cause. Is there a mental health issue there? Is there a substance abuse issue there? Has that been explored? Because we have the programs where instead of just sending them in a revolving door and never addressing that root cause, they're going to come back with that same problem. Because you're sending them back with the same problem they came in with, the same problem that was at the root of whatever crime they committed or whatever their issue is, and it was never addressed. Whereas if you refer them to these courts that we have that are up, And again, there are community resources for treatment and all of that are there. And by not coordinating, you continue that cycle. But with coordination, you get that person in that program, tailor it, not just put them in a program and then kind of let them be, but give them strictly tailored programs to them in particular. Gather the information necessary about their family background, about their mental health issue, about any substance abuse issues. Have they been on probation before? Have they attempted treatment before? Would set them up for success to address that. So next time they rotate out of the system, the problem is addressed. And at this point, we get to see, was it the substance abuse issue, or is this just something they want to do? You know what I mean?
Right. I can definitely understand that. And you did mention mental health, which is a huge issue that we're facing. So having that specialty court, do you all have a lot of cases, or do we miss a lot of people because they don't know? How is the resource, like you say, it's underutilized, but how do people get to know that it's there to be used?
And that's exactly what I want to do, along with touting those other resources. This is yet another resource. So and I think that there has to be that coordination, because again, as the judge, I don't get the case until they're already in there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But there needs to be some coordination amongst the judges, the DA's office, the PD's office. What's the eligibility criteria? What are we looking for? Because a lot of times, I know that when I was doing criminal defense work and when I was a prosecutor, you could get an idea within 5 minutes of a conversation with some people whose mental illness was affecting them enough for them to commit crime, that there was something that was just a little off, and that there may be a need for further investigation. And you might have to require a psych eval. It's like, look, we may be recommending you for this program, we need to get a psych eval. And if you come back with a diagnosis for which this person has either never received this diagnosis before, or they're medicated but they won't take them, then we know that we have something to work with. But that eligibility criteria has to be there in terms of what types of crimes, whether or not they've been in a program before, what portion of the program did they get to? How much did they follow through? How together was the program at the time? I think we're going to have to take that into account at least at first. You know what I mean? So I think that once you establish that criteria and everybody's on the same page as to who gets to go and what's required to go, now public defenders know when they should come forward to recommend to request that their clients get in. DAs now know that when they're looking at cases and they see this person has been here all this time and it's for the same kind of stuff, now they know, okay, it's got to be something going on. Maybe we need to get with the PD and recommend a psych evaluation. And if I know and it's gotten past everybody else and they're in front of me and we're trying to do the plea or whatever, and he's talking out, in left field, I can say, okay, I need everybody to approach. Have we talked about the mental health? Have we done a psych evaluation? Because we may need to refer this to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We need to, that may be the issue. So it just needs to be that kind of coordination. So everybody's on the same page, and then you can get folks in there. Because right now, I don't think there are a lot of referrals.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. And piggybacking on, we're probably getting ready to wrap up in just a bit, but you did mention working with the DA as well. What would be your take on how can we don't want to defund the police, we need the police, but how do we build the gap between the citizens and the police? And also too, when we do have incidents that happen where we're having to question the integrity of the police officer during the crime, what do you feel should happen to that police officer if they are convicted?
Now, here's the thing. So I'm a sitting judge right now. Hey, I get up and instead of going to the courthouse because it's closed due to COVID, I come down my hall, sit in the same seat, put on my robe. So I took an oath. I can't say what should happen to them, because something like that may come before me. So we don't want it. It said, well, she was saying that this is what should happen, so she's already made up her mind. So that I can't say. I will say this. I have heard the term defund the police, and I've heard it in several different contexts. And what it means to me is not necessarily, I know we've seen these ads that are
No, I get what you're saying.
That's not it. And I think the more appropriate term when some people use it is to just kind of reallocate some of the funding so that you have better training and things like that. So I think that if everybody, again, I'm a big believer in, if we're trying to accomplish something, let's all get on the same page as to our goal and how we're going to get there. That way, everybody knows what we're striving for, and we're moving in a straight line versus somebody going this way, somebody going that way, somebody going over there. Because then we're all, energy is all over the place. Whereas if we're both heading straight ahead to our goal, then we reach it faster. So I think that coordination between all the agencies involved, a sit down with everybody, understanding just even if we just go all the way back to the basics, you treat people like human beings. Let's just start there. And we work backwards from there, because every agency has their different goals. Because you'll hear people say, oh, as a judge, I'm fighting for this, or I'm fighting for that. But you're not, as the judge, you're not. That's absolutely the opposite of what you do. You can't fight for anyone, because the people that come before you they're quote unquote fighting. It's an adversarial process. So if I say I'm fighting too, now I have to put, what am I fighting for? Because they listed their position. They've listed their position. It's not fair if I fight for your position against them. Do you see what I'm saying? So I have to be right there. I can't be a third party fighter. I have to make sure that the people who are in the fight are fighting fair and are abiding by the law, abiding by the Constitution, because nobody is above that. And then taking that back to the DA's office, they have a different goal. But again, coordinate with me, because I want to let you know, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to have to do it right. Or it's not, you know what I mean? Or it's not going to get done. And let the police department know that you work with, that if the case isn't brought right, then, it is what it is, because I am upholding the law. It's not again, I'm not fighting for you all, and I'm not fighting for them. I'm trying to make sure it's done right, because it's done right. The presumption is that everybody is protected if it's done right. And then the result comes down to that jury that comes in and does their duty. And then nobody can say, oh, I was treated unfairly. Oh, this was because of this bias or that bias, because we've gathered enough facts. Everybody's played by the rules, and we've gotten a result. And at that point, it becomes, it is what it is at that point.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. And moving to one of our last questions, why would you be the best candidate? Why you over your opponent who you're running against?
Well, I will just say this about me, because ultimately the voters are going to decide. But they do have a choice, and they can choose the judge that has 27 years of legal experience and judicial experience. I have held roles from prosecutor to federal agency counsel, special assistant U.S. attorney, criminal defense attorney, then solo practitioner. I was named a 2020 Georgia super lawyer. I'm a mediator. So I have a breadth of experience, just a diverse range of experience. I've been at pretty much on every side in the courtroom, and everywhere around the courtroom, both criminal and civil, because in Superior Court, you're going to handle criminal and civil cases, in addition to those domestic relations cases when you're in that family division rotation. And I have handled cases in all of those areas. Or you can choose the judge that is currently working. In the midst of this pandemic, we were able to kind of 2.5 week turnaround from when we couldn't have in-person hearings to getting back on Zoom and getting back into our calendars. And people talk about, oh, there's going to be such a huge backlog. And there is going to be to a degree, simply because of some of the limitations, but we are working. I have I have my calendars here. I am working. And, like I said, I get up, come down here, and I handle my calendar. Sometimes it's slow go because of my technology, but we're working. You know what I mean? But we're working over here to try to stem some of that, because we understand that people's problems didn't just stop when COVID hit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm working to do that. And I recognize that the decisions that I make have far-reaching consequences. I'm dealing with people. People don't really like to come to court. I understand that. So you're dealing with people at some of the lowest points in their lives. So I understand that, and I came onto the bench believing wholeheartedly that people are entitled to be fully heard. Just let them get that. Sometimes people, that is all they need, win or lose. Sometimes that's all they need, and that they deserve my undivided attention. Because you hear people talk about their experience in court. It's not usually, oh, well, that statute was just not, that subsection just didn't work for me, or blah, blah, blah. They come out talking about the judge didn't listen to me. She didn't let me, they didn't let me get my argument out. They were doing something else. No, that wasn't fair. I wouldn't treat it fairly. And so you eliminate that when you allow people to be fully heard. So that, and that would be me. Or they can choose, people can choose a judge that is neutral, knowledgeable, and respectful. That is my pledge to the people. That is what I present to the people that come in to my courtroom. Or Fulton County can choose that they can decide rather that they want somebody that has all of that. So I have the experience. I'm currently working. I understand what people need in terms of being satisfied with how they are treated in the judicial system. And I know how to do the work. I'm doing it right now.
We thank you for that. And again, congratulations on getting to the runoff.
Thank you.
And if there's anything you would love, anything else you want to say to the citizens or let people know about you, how can we help you as far as the few days running down? I think we probably have, about 2 more weeks before the runoff?
15 days.
Oh, you're counting down. I love it. 15 days. So in 15 days, what do you need from the people? What can we do for you? And just what are your last words for us?
Well, I just want people to understand generally, just historically, the runoff participation falls greatly. People were amazing on June 9th. We had 198,901 voters in our judicial race. That is amazing.
Yes, we did good. We did awesome June 9th. We did.
Awesome. People, their vote was their voice. Now, to make sure your voice is heard and that the choice you made then actually gets elected, you have to come back out. We have to hear your voice again. So I just want to encourage people to come back out and let them know the importance of the Superior Court position, because we are the busiest trial court, Fulton County. We are where the majority of your issues would be addressed. The big issues that come up, they come through Fulton County. So you deserve to have people on the bench that have the knowledge, that have the experience, that have the work ethic to make those intelligent decisions in an efficient manner. So the other part of that is, I just want to let people know that with respect to the accessibility and feeling like court is out of reach, the judges are out of reach. No, I fully recognize that the only way that I have an elected position is when I am elected by the voters, by the people. I am literally the definition of a public servant. I work for you because anytime you decide you are not satisfied, you can go and vote me right out. So I am cognizant of that. So I want to make people proud of their vote. When they cast their vote for me, I want them 2 years from now, 4 years from now, at the next election, to be proud of their vote and proud to say they'll vote for me again.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And how is family life? I guess your husband.
My husband is here. Right. Everybody's fine. My mom is actually, she's immune system fragile. So we're careful with her. That's one of the reasons why I go to the courthouse from time to time to, get stuff updated. But, I had to remain vigilant and try to not go too much. And it's hard trying to campaign and go out. Then she wants to, well, I'll sit in the car because she just wants to see things.
Get out. Yeah.
She just wants to see. And then, and I have my fur baby. and she's fine.
Well, good deal. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you again. Again, we're getting ready to sign off. Yoshina Kobe Bradford, South Metro Democratic Women. Our interviewer today was Mrs. Tamika. Let me see. Hrobowski. I apologize. Hrobowski-Houston.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you and have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.